today we're just gonna talk about like conventions and what are our essentials basically. Hey guys, welcome to Con Artist Podcast episode 2. I'm Sherms and
I'm Sarah.
We put together a list of our top 10 con essentials that we must always have. But before we get into it, I just want to we might date ourselves a bit, but Sarah just finished her pop-up recently.
Oh yeah.
I'm basically prepping for my booth this weekend. So yeah, how was the pop-up, you know?
I had a shop pop-up at Lucky Shop. So it was held at Plaza Singapura. And then basically I kind of rented out a small little space at the front of their shop. So I got to redecorate the shop front. I got to put up a huge Sarah Thursday pop-up, like a poster and like an A1 stand over there. And then so the shop pop-up kind of lasted from, was it Friday to Sunday? Yeah, it happened mid-April lah, so it was like the Good Friday weekend.
I feel like this kind of experience is very rare, especially for full-time artists, because it is basically like a full storefront in like a mall.
Yeah, I was very lucky to have the chance to do so because so what happened was I was having a really shit March, right? Like March I got COVID, I recovered from COVID, then my PayPal got hacked, and just like a bunch of like misfortunate stuff happening in March. So I thought like, okay, I better do something for April. So I just like gathered my courage, and then I was restocking at Lucky Shop, and I brought down my merch, right? And then I met the boss, kind of asked him like, hey, do you think I could do like a pop-up at this outlet? Because actually Plaza Singapura, if you are not from Singapore, it's actually it's like in the town area of Singapore, so it's very easy for most Singaporeans to come by and take a look. So yeah, it was actually the shop that I really fell in love with when they first opened about 2 or 3 years ago. It was always a dream for me to like have a little pop-up there, you know, and then meet my supporters there. So I actually dreamt of this so long, like when they first opened, like I haven't even like put my merch there yet. So yeah, I thought it was time to ask him for the opportunity.
Yeah, it's definitely a very rare experience, especially I think my goal also is to, you know, have a small little, I think it's everyone's goal also
like
to have
corner,
like
right?
a small little shop front, like okay, maybe not in a mall but somewhere, you know, and just sell stuff. So
it's a lot of people's like dream, but because Singapore, right, our rent is so high.
It's high.
And then, you know, you need to like hire staff to take care of your shop and stuff like that. So it's very difficult for artists to actually own physical shops. And then a lot of people ask like, hey, where's your shop? Do you have a physical shop? And oftentimes we just tell them, no, we can't do that, you know. In Singapore, it's so tough to actually own your shop and like dedicate and invest a big amount of money for like a 1 or 2 year lease. So especially in the town area, right?
Yeah, you definitely have prepped and packed a lot of things for the event, and like I'm currently going through that right now, so I thought that it would be a good idea to put together a list.
Yeah, so Sherms is doing a pop-up, not a pop, a booth, right?
Yeah, it's like a booth with a bunch of other artists. Like it's a marketplace. It's also a mall, but I guess it's more of a mall where events are always happening during the weekend. And yeah, so apparently this weekend it is like an artist market.
Yeah, so she's doing one like this weekend.
Yeah, so I thought that it would be good to discuss this. I mean, like I might have forgotten something.
Plus, like Singapore is opening up right now.
Yeah.
Just when was that? Like
a week ago?
That's yesterday. Yesterday it just opened up, and like so there's really not much restrictions in regards to events. There's no like PAX restrictions or like having to scan in and trace where you go anymore. So I think events are gonna come back really, really fast, not even slowly. Like I think everyone is like in a hurry to set up events right now.
Yeah, like at the time of filming this, AFA just announced that, something's happening. So
yeah, so
hopefully, fingers crossed. Okay, so do you want to start, or I can start first? Like for me, I'm not sure about you, but for me, I didn't put these in order. So like, I don't prioritize one over the other.
No problem.
Sure. The first thing that I always must have with me is medicine. For me, I get headaches, like I get chronic headaches a lot. And at conventions, you're gonna get loud music, you're going to get people chattering and stuff. And it's good to always be prepared. Medicines like for headaches, for even for stomach aches. So I think it's good to be prepared. And I know this is like really off from what to have at an artist booth, but yeah, I feel like we should also prioritize our own well-being.
That's right. So I don't know whether we actually said this is for anime conventions specifically. So yeah, we are talking about like boothing at anime cons, and anime cons, they get really crowded, like especially at AFA or Dojima, like the crowds get stuck. Like that's how crowded it gets pre-COVID. So your first one is medicine.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Because
now that I think about it.
Yeah, because I mean, you always have to be prepared. You don't know when you're just not gonna feel well that day. And yeah, I feel like it's your well-being above everything else.
Yeah, especially like it's such long hours. So usually for conventions, you set up in the morning itself, right?
Yeah.
And then you're already exhausted. And you still have to power through about 8 hours serving customers and like just tending your booth. So yeah, that makes sense, because just recently at the pop-up at Lucky Shop, right, I forgot to bring my sinus medicine.
Oh no.
And then on the first day, on Friday, I had really bad sinus. And then now we still have to wear masks indoors, so it really affected me as well, because it keeps rubbing on my nose. So yeah, I had to get a friend buy me the sinus meds so that I could feel better. Yeah, that totally makes sense, because my sinus is always so it's so sensitive, and it really affects you when like you're constantly sneezing or something, right? And you're trying to attend to your customers. So
even if you're not bringing the medicine for yourself, you should always have it in case your booth partner or anyone else around you. I mean, even
the Panadol, antihistamine.
I mean, that's what we have in Singapore. So So even for con goers, everyone's so excited, they don't eat and stuff. So it's just good to have I guess in general as well.
Yeah, and always remember to have a good meal, I guess.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And water, always have water around.
So like when we talk about con essentials, these are essential things for us. It might not be things that you might find to be useful, but yeah, so I just want to preface by saying that these are all things that we find useful and
it's
that we
just
think that
our experiences over the years, and like these things that you won't ever think about but might actually really need when you attend a con. Yeah. So I think actually we could talk about what we usually sell at the booths, so that our packing list would make sense to them as well. Yeah, just briefly. So for me, at my booths, you'll usually see merchandise ranging from like stickers, A6 prints, pouches, bags. My most popular merch are t-shirts, and sometimes I do like hoodies, and then badges, and like keychains and whatnot.
So a lot of apparel and accessories.
So apparels are the more bulky one, but they move the fastest for me. And then the smaller items are just like stickers, keychains. Yeah. What about you?
So for me, I sell prints. My art mainly focuses on like my brand mainly focuses on art. So yeah, it's mostly prints and lots of keychains, pins. Yeah, but I'm trying to focus more on my art itself. So yeah, so I do a wider variety, you can say. I have done apparel. I have done like keychains, even hats, bags. Yeah, so my booth usually has a more range of stuff, smaller items.
Yeah, a lot of like keychains and like decorative stuff.
Yeah, some art books, sticker books here and there.
So that's what we usually bring and sell at our booth. And we'll not talk so much about what we're selling, but more of what we do and what we bring to help to spruce up our booths and what's like a necessity for our booths. Yeah, so I think my first one is laying the foundation is a tablecloth. It's so random, right? But I think because at normal booths, right, they just give you like a wooden table or like a white table, like those foldable ones, and then they are normally about 120 cm to 60 cm. That's the standard.
That's the average size for a table here in Singapore.
Yeah. So what's most important as a foundation is to bring a table cloth that actually suits your booth aesthetics. So it will help you stand out from everyone else as well. And yeah, so I think it's a very light item, but it helps so much with your booth and like attracting people to come.
Yeah, like let's say if a lot of your items are red, you can do a complementary color so that your items can pop out more. Yeah.
So for me,
things like that.
Usually, this black velvet cloth you see here is usually the tablecloth that I bring to my booth. What about you?
So for me, I have a lot of reds and orange in my artwork. So I bring a red tablecloth. And also speaking of tablecloth, I also have something on my list that is something like a tablecloth, but bring a second tablecloth because
to cover everything.
Yes, actually, yes. It is to cover everything after a day.
Yes, that's true.
Of boothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's the one that I always forget, but it's so important.
Yeah. So basically, at the end of the day, especially if you're doing a multiple day convention, you usually leave your stuff overnight. Yeah. And then depending on what time you leave, you might leave early, and then you just want to tell people that you're closed. So you just cover your table with a tablecloth, preferably a bigger one because you probably have a lot of stuff on your table.
Or like if you are boothing alone and you don't have anyone helping you and you just need to go to the toilet or grab a meal or something, that's very important as well because you get to like protect your merch while you're gone. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just a good way to tell people that, hey, I'm not here.
AFK.
AFK.
Yeah, and then for me, if I forget, because my tablecloth is big enough, sometimes I just like fold it up.
Flip it over.
Yeah, then I clip it with like metal clips. Yeah, just to secure it. Yeah, so like metal clips are kind of important too. So your tablecloth doesn't move around and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have I have something along the lines of that as well. But we can,
This is such nerdy talks, yeah.
Do you have anything from your list?
Number 2. So tablecloth, right? Number 2 is props. So like props that will showcase your merch clearly and tidily. So like plastic racks, like I'll use like those plastic racks
for postcards
with 4 tiers so that I can put like my postcards and then they'll be stacked according to tiers, right? And then people can see all your designs accordingly, and it's also easy for them to pick out what they like.
I think we'll put a photo here.
Yeah.
of the
I
rack.
have it behind, but yeah, we'll put a photo here. And then like metal racks, like a lot of people use those wire racks. I don't use them, but I know a lot of con artists, they use wire racks with the mesh.
It's the easiest. I feel like it's the easiest to get and also the easiest to set up.
Yeah, and lighter as well, right? And it's very flat, so you can like bring it along with you wherever.
Actually, there's two different kinds. There is the wire mesh, which is very heavy, in my experience. The other one that is lighter is plastic cubes.
Yeah, so I think,
so the plastic cubes are
like
basically just wire.
Ones, right?
Yeah, it's just wire on the outside, and then the plastic cubes. And I know some people use that as well. Yeah, so if you want to, lessen the weight a little, because I know full-on wire cubes are heavy.
And then also, if you sell stickers or keychains, like those small little stuff which most con artists would sell, find something that displays it very clearly and is also like tidy according to design. So what I use is something I bought from IKEA. I think it was just a box with like 9 other tiny sections inside.
It's like a organizer,
so
divider.
Like that's what I use to like display my stickers.
Okay. One more tip I have to share regarding like booth decorations is that it's nice if you have things at an eye level, especially for conventions. Everyone's looking down, so it's good to have something on eye level. Like maybe your higher priced items or something that you want to show and sell, like your best sellers or anything. Put it at an eye level so that it's easier to be seen.
That's true.
Yeah, because if you put it above eye level and like below eye level, some people are gonna miss it.
So basically, like have a hierarchy.
Something like that. Some people, they really lift up everything. Yeah. As in they use wire cubes and everything, so that they put the items on top of the wire cubes instead of on the table itself.
So I also bring this wooden crate that I got from IKEA, and then basically that's like my other level up. And then in the wooden crate, right, because the empty side is facing me, I can like put all my packaging inside the crate, so when people order, like I just take out and then I'll pack my items and give it to them. So it's also like a space for you to like settle your own things without people actually looking.
Yeah, because space is the biggest issue we have.
Exactly. When you're boothing, right, space is a very big issue, and you need to know how to utilize the space properly and also have it look aesthetic for everyone, right? You kind of want to attract people. That's the first impression you're gonna make. Yeah.
So another thing you should have, okay, this is my third item. Another thing you should have that's very, very important are name cards. So name cards are definitely like a must. I feel, especially because when you're at a convention, there are definitely going to be people that don't know who you are. You depend a lot on human traffic. So having a name card is a very good way to get your name out there. It'd be great if you can include like your socials, maybe your store front name, your online store, and
that's also one of my list, like in the list. So name cards, if you don't have name cards or you think it's too expensive to make, right, I suggest you can also make like a mini standing poster with all your social tags like Instagram, TikTok, whatnot, and website, so that people can at least take a photo and then they can remember you by it.
So no matter what, at least have your name somewhere on your booth.
Because it's so important because there's so much human traffic at anime conventions, right? Then this is actually a very important like marketing time for you.
Definitely.
Even if they don't purchase your item at the first time they see you, right? If they follow you, then that's also a very like important aspect of boothing, because they actually see your items in real life, they have touched it, they know what the quality is, and even if they don't purchase it at first time, which usually in my experience they won't, right? Because they need to familiarize with you first, they need to get used to your style and think whether you're worth investing in or not. And so usually maybe the second or third time they'll be like, hey, is this person again?
Especially for you, because you do shirts mainly. So they might like your art style, but they don't relate to the characters as much. And then maybe one day, you do a character that they really like. And then they're like, oh, finally,
Yeah, exactly. I think it's always very important to put your name out.
Yeah, just take advantage. Take advantage of the fact that you do have a booth at the convention.
Yeah, even if you don't get too much sales, just like, hey, it's an experience and people get to know you and they've seen you. Yeah, so don't be too discouraged. My next one is a merch catalog. Which I think not many con artists have the habit of doing.
I'm guilty of not doing that. I mean, I do.
There are artists who do that, but
do you mean a physical one or an online?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah. But physical ones would be great as well, because not everyone follows you online. In fact, most people won't follow you online, right? So if you have a physical merch catalog, it doesn't have to be very big. It doesn't have to take a lot of space. It could be a flip book, or it could be a A4 size of all your designs and all the merch you have to offer with the price tags. I think that's very important, because people want to know what they're buying and how much it's worth before deciding, hey, okay, it's worth my money, right? And sometimes anime cons can be so hectic and chaotic, right? And you don't have much time to be standing at the booth and browsing everything. So if you have just one merch catalog for someone to refer to, at one glance they can decide whether they want to buy something or not, then I think it's a very good way to showcase your merch.
Especially if you put it big enough that people can see from a large crowd. Especially for bigger conventions.
Yeah, bigger booths at Premier, Dojima or AFA, you have a backing, then that would be great. Yeah, but if not, if you just have a table, then a tiny one would do. Yeah, or you could hang it somewhere.
And if you really can't do that, at least have an online one. So yeah, because there are definitely people looking, and we have had a lot of instances where people just come up and say oh, they want this from our catalog. Maybe they're buying for a friend.
They already decided before they came. Yeah.
Or they're buying for themselves and their friend who couldn't make it. So yeah, it's always good to have a catalog.
There are people who already follow you on social media, and if you post a merch catalog, an online merch catalog, be it your Instagram or wherever, right? Then they will have something to refer to, and they'll know what you're selling at the booth itself. Sometimes they just come prepared. They know what they want. They come early. They queue when you just open, and they're like, hey, I want this. Yeah, and then it makes things work so much faster.
And it happens very often.
It happens so often, trust me. So yeah, or even if they don't follow you at the start, right? Perhaps they have seen, maybe they come in first round, right? People always go multiple rounds around artist alleys. So first round, maybe they take your social media, they look at your IG, then they see your merch catalog. Maybe it might kind of attract, something might attract them, and they might come back. So yeah, always take use of these opportunities to showcase your products.
And by the way, I'm just saying for myself and Sarah, we are totally fine with returning people, because I know some people they might feel it's a little bit awkward if they come and browse our booth and then after that they return multiple times. We're totally fine with that. We don't feel awkward. You shouldn't feel awkward. You're making
stick around, chat with us, hang around.
You're thinking about a big a purchase. So yeah, take your time, really.
Don't feel stressed. And just say hi.
So the next item I have on my list is basically a toolbox, or just a box where you keep all your stationaries. Some stationaries I like to bring with me are a pair of scissors, some double-sided tape, like for you, clips.
Yep.
Yeah. So markers, blue tack, like anything you can think of that might help. Like this one essential toolbox that you have with you everywhere you go. Yeah, because you might never know what you need to write, what you need to cut, what you need to
Oftentimes
paste.
you need it, man. Like mine is in a very crumpled plastic bag, but yeah, I have that as well, and I bring it to every con. So yeah, this is in my bonus.
Ooh, okay.
So yeah, always bring scissors. I don't know why. Every con, every booth, I'll need a scissors.
Yeah, for me it's tape.
Yeah, and then blue tack, tape. Yeah, all these are very important. Or like 3M clips and whatever. Yeah.
Like you might not need it this time, but you might need it the next time. So.
Yeah. But oftentimes you need a pen. Someone might ask you to sign something. Yeah, marker. Yeah, always be ready, because these things are really essentials. It sounds like just stationaries, but you really need it. Yeah, especially scissors. Yeah, you might need to cut stickers.
Oh yeah, you can cut stickers while you wait for people.
Yeah, sometimes there's no one, right? Then you just cut stickers. Yeah. My next one is very, very clear price tags. I see a lot of booths. Sometimes they don't have very clear prices, right? Like their merch are really, really nice, and you're so interested in purchasing them. But if there's no price tag, then you'll be a bit uncertain, because you're not sure of how much it is, right? And then sometimes it's quite awkward to ask, like, oh, how much is this and whatnot. Yeah, so I think some people are a bit more shy. Sometimes I'm a bit more shy, or like the booth owner might be very busy and you might not dare to ask about the price, and that might be missed sales. Yeah, so I think it's very important to have a very clear price tag. So let's say you're like selling A6 prints, always have like maybe clip a little wooden tag on it, or just you could make a color marker as well, like maybe those little round stickers you can stick on it, and then you might have a price tier list or something like that. So yeah, find a way to make it interesting as well. Yeah,
because I know some artists, they like to do like a price, a general price like sign, and then while that's good, some people might not know what certain things are, like how we are very familiar with washi tape, but some people might not know what washi tapes are. Like it happens. So it's good to have, you can still have your price list board, but still have like, just maybe a little, those circle stickers that those
or
label
just have
label
the
tags
price tag close to that item, so people can just immediately make that connection.
Yeah, because at a con there are so many items to look at. There's so much merch, and something is definitely going to be missed. Like people are definitely going to miss certain items here and there, because there is really a lot of merch.
Yeah, so always make things easy for your customers. Yeah, always try to make things efficient, easy, because the chance might just slip by. So yeah.
Speaking of that, like because I was talking about the whole eye level thing, I read somewhere, I'm not sure where, but it said that it was always eye level first, and then the bottom, and then the last is above. So so always just think about
the
that.
level of focus. I see.
So usually some people, they just like, oh, eye level, what's the general thing, and then if they're interested in the aesthetic, then they will look down to to focus more on what's all that
because,
stuff. Yeah,
like you're just passing by people and seeing by that space in between two people. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
so that's good to know.
And what's your next item on the list?
Okay, so my next item on the list is paper bags or any kind of bags that you might want to use to put your items in. For me, I use paper bags because they can. I bought the A6 kind to put postcards and stuff in, because I sell a lot of those. So yeah, they just made sense for me. Yeah, And then for bigger items, you know, I just bring a few paper bags. You know, you might have some big spenders.
I personally use black paper bags because I sell everything black. And then I stick like a little brand sticker so people know it's from me. And yeah, that's for like my t-shirts or like tote bags and stuff like that, right? And one little like tidbit, one very cool thing, when you give them paper bags, is also you know, when they buy other items from other creators, they'll just put it into that paper bag. So it's very useful for your customers as well. And it's also really cool to see people holding your paper bags and like just passing by your booths. So yeah, that makes me really happy somehow.
I think because like, you know, there are so many people in the artist alley that including artists. So someone that maybe it's your follower or your fan or something, they might be there and then they don't know that you are there until they see like, oh, why is there like Sarah Thursday bag? Are they here? You know, is Sarah here?
Oh yeah.
So it's like
marketing.
It's like free advertisement.
Think of that. But yeah, I didn't think of that. But oh yeah, that's cool. That's
so
cool.
Yeah, it's like, you know, free advertisement. You know, take advantage of the fact that you are boothing.
If your booth style is more cutesy or like more colorful, you could go for pastel bags. You can go for paper bags or white bags. Or if it's too like heavy of an investment, because paper bags can cost quite a bit, right? And you have not considered that cost, I think like even like little plastic sleeves or plastic bags could do as well.
I think people really appreciate the personalization of things.
I think packaging is so important, but a lot of people miss out on it. Yeah, like to me, packaging is one of the most important things for a brand.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going more towards branding in general.
Yeah,
already.
And because I studied design, so like packaging has always been very important, the finishing and bringing everything together will help people remember your brand as well. So like if for like my next one is like for prints or for stickers, I'll put it in a black envelope and I'll seal it with like my own washi tape. Yeah,
I think because the both of us really like
we just love packing.
We love
things.
branding. we love putting our logo
these,
on
like,
everything.
nerdy little details, and I think people also really appreciate it.
I hope so.
Yeah, and like, you know, when they purchase something, I find it so awkward to just like take the sticker and like, here you go.
Like even a simple paper bag is
so it's like,
better
if you
than nothing.
slip it into the envelope, you close it with care, you stick your little washi tape branding on it, and you pass it to them. Like, it feels very personal and might help people remember you as well. I think also because I love customer service. Yeah, all my part-time jobs last time were customer service based. So
maybe that's
a very important aspect. Like, also interacting with them, like these little gestures are so important to me.
I think it's also an experience that you want to give to the customers. Like, you know, when they go home and then they can, you know, they peel open your sticker
and they save the
like,
little washi tape. Oh, I love it. It's so cute. Like a lot of like my customers and my supporters, they will tell me like they will peel off the sticker because it's removable, right? They peel it off and then like keep it somewhere safe. And I'm like, that's so sweet. My hair would stand. Okay.
Even like because the both of us, our stickers are removable. So I put them on the poly mailers and stuff when I send out store orders. And then you know, I always get like people messaging me and telling me like, oh no, they save this. They even save like the wrapping paper that comes with it and stuff. And we really appreciate it.
And that's why we invest in it as well, because they're not cheap. Wrapping paper, they look like tissue paper, but they're not cheap if they're printed with your brand.
To be honest, what we're talking about is like really later down the road. Like if you're just starting, you don't have to invest in all these things yet.
Like find ways that works for
They are
you.
cheap.
Like before that, we find other ways as well. This is where we are at right now after a few years of experimenting and thinking what is worth the investment. But if you're just starting out, just maybe a little plastic sleeve, a little name card, whatever that is within your budget.
Yeah, definitely think about your budget, and no matter what you do, don't make a loss.
Yeah, I think that's about pricing, which we might talk about next time. So your pricing has to include all this packaging as well, I guess.
It's a bit hard to talk about pricing as well because we manufacture things from different people, and then we might spend not as much money on certain things compared
maybe just
to
vaguely.
other.
I think
we
pricing
can
is
talk
a
about.
important topic to talk about next time.
Do you have any? Mine was paper bags.
Paper bags,
yours
envelopes. So I sell t-shirts, right? So I need a clothing rack. So I have to bring a clothing rack and hangers for all my t-shirts, and I'll display all the sizes and designs. So I'll need a clothing rack for easy browsing. And then, but you also need to check with your organizer if they allow it, because some places, if they just provide you with a table, right, they might not allow extra clothing rack, or they might charge more. So you'll have to check with that event itself. And I always check because the clothing rack is one of my most important things. So check with your organizer, check with the event, and then
honestly, I think check with your booth mate, like your
if you have,
the people that
you're
are
sharing
boothing,
a booth.
and also the people boothing next to you, because it's also like a public space, I guess, like a shared space. So it's good etiquette to just.
If you ask your organizers, they might give you a spot that might not be blocking someone else.
So
they might take that into consideration as well, lah. So always be aware, be self-aware where you're placing your things, whether you're blocking someone else or not. And also you have to take into account where people are coming from, where they'll crowd around, right? Your clothing rack and stuff like that. Alright, so that's for next time, I guess. And then my stocks, right? Where do I put my stocks? Because t-shirts are so bulky. Usually I bring like those foldable black boxes. You can get it from IKEA. And I will open it up and I will put my t-shirts in the boxes according to size, in like medium, large, oversized. And then I'll slide it under my rack or under my table, somewhere that's not obstructing other people.
So it's like
kind of building your makeshift shelf.
Okay. So for me, I have a lot of pins, and I mean good old IKEA. I also
IKEA or Daiso.
They sell these I'll put a photo here, but basically it's like a plastic container that has dividers, and they can fit like a name card sized backing card quite easily in. So I use those. And then just anything that helps to
organize your things
That's
and
very
also important, because at cons, right, you'll be scrambling to find. If you're selling a huge variation of merch, you'll be scrambling to find that design, that pin, that shirt. So always try to be as organized as you can before the con starts. So you don't like get chaotic later on.
What I have on my list is probably the most important thing for me. And it's a POS system.
I forget to write that down.
Okay, so for those who don't know, or you guys are not in like service sales or whatever. Okay, so a POS system is a point of sale system. So what it does is basically, when you're looking, when you buy things, and then you're at the register, and then you see that cashier like punching in things and like calculating. So it's the same thing, and you can get POS system apps.
And they're
for
free.
For free.
It's a major tip.
And then the thing with POS system is that it allows you to put your items like pictures of your items into the system, and then it basically allows you to tap on that item, and then after that it helps you calculate immediately.
I think we can like show them a screenshot as well. Yeah. Like we have it on our iPad, so it's like super easy to just tap on the screen and then it'll calculate everything for you. And
you just need to lay it out nicely, and then you don't have to use an iPad.
Your phone will do as well. Yeah, your phone will do as well.
It's for the phone as well. And then the biggest point for me with this is that it takes note of what you sell. So it takes note of everything, how much you earn, so you don't have to like calculate I sold 3 keychains and this.
It takes note of the item as well.
Yeah, it just gives you a whole report.
Like a sales report.
Today you sold this much.
Like instead of like writing everything down, going home and calculate everything,
which
we used to do.
Which I know some artists still do that. Yeah. So, and then the biggest thing is that since it tells you what you sold, you can literally just put your inventory inside this. So what I mean by that is that if you have an online shop, you can instead of like after a comment you gotta count all your stocks and update the stock into your online shop. I mean, you can just open up your POS system and then just see, I sold 5 keychains. Okay, then I'm gonna go to my online inventory and just minus 5 keychains. Yeah, so it's probably the best way to keep track of your stock.
Yeah, and also if you're having like a 2 or 3 day convention or art market booth, right? First day you can go back and see what you sold, and then you can next day if you have restocks, you can go back and like restock it the next morning and bring it over to day 2. So it's very important as well to check your stocks, your inventory. Yeah, if you're selling more bulky items, I guess, and even stickers, like if you ran out of stickers, then like which one to cut more of and stuff like that, right? Yeah, so
it's a very, very good app. And I've been recommending this to a lot of like booth mates.
Same.
So it's also very good that you won't miscalculate your change, because they have a thing where they also have this thing where like this is the total amount, and then if a customer gives like $50, you can just put in, I received $50, and then they will tell you immediately what the change is.
Yeah, and also now there's cash and in Singapore Pay Now, PayLah, like digital paying systems. So you can actually put that, like, did they pay it by cash? Did they pay it by digital wallet? Then you can go back and also calculate like your cash and your wallet. Does it like sum up together? Does it make sense? Did you lose any sales? Yeah, and then you also get to compare to like your previous booth, like what is doing better. You can make more, or like what's doing not so well, then make less.
Yeah. So it's very good to have, and like you mentioned, like QR codes. It is one of my items as well. Basically, QR codes are very important to us because, especially in Singapore, because we have QR code payment systems here, and it might be different for booths and cons in other countries, but for us, like, this is probably the most useful thing to have.
Yeah, right now in these few years.
And like I always recommend people to just print out a QR code
of like your Pay Now, PayLah, which is the iBanking app thing. Yeah. So once they scan that QR code, they can immediately access where to send the money to. Yeah, and then once they show you it's been transferred, then you can pass the item to them, and it's really, really quick as well.
Especially since like at conventions at at Suntec, I'm sure a lot of people who have been to a convention at Suntec know that the ATM machine is like
really far away,
very far away. So yeah, it's very good to have, and just a tip, I think, for like the Singaporean boothers, don't put your phone numbers
Or maybe just another phone number that is not your personal phone.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, it's your privacy. Don't use, don't put your phone number.
QR codes are better as well.
So I have one more, but it's it's quite standard. I mean, have a helper or a friend.
If you can, or share your booth. I think I used to share my booth because I want company, and then we can like take turns to go to the toilet, get a meal. So it's always more enjoyable having someone around.
Yeah, I think it's also like going back to the whole taking care of yourself. Basically, always make sure you have food and water, and then you don't need to have a friend that is constantly there, but maybe you have a friend that comes to pass you water,
here and there.
Something like that.
It's good for moral support as well.
And then if you really don't have someone to help you that day, it's fine. You can make friends with your booth mates.
Yes.
You can make friends with whoever's on your right, on your left. We're all in this together. We're all doing this. We're all doing the same thing. So yeah, so if it's only for a while, like a toilet break or something, just
hey, can you take care of my booth for 5 minutes? I'm gonna pee.
I'll be back quick.
And you might become friends with them. You might be able to share booths with them in future. So try to make friends at cons is always really fun.
Yeah, we will look out for each other. I mean, we're a very small community, and we know,
And I got to know her through a con, so
always remember water and food. Okay, take care of yourself first.
Take care of yourself. Get lots of sleep, because you need energy to interact with everyone.
Don't tire yourself out too much. Okay, so
I hope that was useful to any people that want to start their own booths. Because in Singapore, everything is coming back. All the art markets, all the conventions are gonna slowly crawl their way back. And I know there are a lot of people that have been thinking of starting their own booths. And through the pandemic and whatnot, right? So I hope this has been useful.
Especially because I noticed a lot of artists, they are rising up during the pandemic. A lot of the people that are doing these art markets and stuff like that, they've been doing it because of the pandemic, and they have continued to do it as well
because they have more time. And maybe they are not gonna spend so much anymore during the pandemic. So I think
and the
it's
convention
gonna be really cool. I can't imagine how the new convention scene will be like, but I'm very excited.
It's gonna be very different, I feel, and definitely a lot more competitive. So we will end here. The next episode we are probably gonna talk about
more convention stuff.
I mean,
more of our experiences, I guess.
And how do you even get a booth in the first place?
How to apply for a booth. And how to get in.
Okay, so we'll see you now next time.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.